I'm a little hippie, and today I'm filming another vlog. I'm filming me reading my Sergei because I have had this book for a long time and I want to read it. I love ice skating. I heard about their love story, these two. I heard about their love story on YouTube some years ago, and that is what urged me to purchase this book. I think it's a memoir about the time that Katrina spent with her husband, Sergei. And anyway, when I heard about their relationship and I watched a video on them on YouTube a few years ago, it just brought so many emotions up in me. What they shared was so beautiful, and it ended so tragically and so abruptly that I had to get it, and I had to read it for myself. Right now it is, I believe it's Thursday, January 22nd, and as of right now, this weekend in Maryland, we're supposed to get snow and ice and sleet and all that icky stuff, and I have the whole weekend free. So my plan is to read this in the few days that I have over the weekend. But yeah, I'll be back when I have something to yap about. Good morning. It's the next day and I am reading my Sergei, and I found this portion particularly interesting. Those one key to success of the clubs was identifying talented children at a young age and teaching them sound fundamentals so that they could reach their full potential. Tryouts were held by age group and they were open to anyone. Your parents didn't have to have any army affiliation to join CSKA. So it's actually called CSKA, but in Russian they pronounced it CSKA, I believe. Yeah, CSKA. If your child was selected, the club was free of charge. It was affiliated with a sports school in Moscow that also provided the young athletes with an education. It was a great honor to be admitted to any sports club, but particularly to CSKA, because sports was one of the few means by which a Soviet citizen could travel and see the world. And top athletes also got many privileges unavailable to the ordinary citizen, like hard-to-find Moscow apartments, cars, and relatively generous monthly stipends. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I love learning about new cultures, and every now and then I'll have like a culture that is particularly interesting to me, and for the longest time, like for the last year and a half-ish, it's been Russian culture, and I'm kind of expanding that to Eastern Europe in general, out into Ukraine and other places in that area. So when I read stuff like that, you know, it's really cool learning about these different places. And the reason why I wanted to mark that was because, like I said, I've been into boxing lately and I am a fan of Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, and I heard Vladimir say something to that effect of like that the only way that a Russian citizen could travel way back like 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago was either being a politician or being an athlete. And then she basically said the same thing. So yeah, and it was around the same time, because I believe this might have been in either the mid to late 80s or something like that to the early 90s, something like that. So yeah, I'll just come back when I have something else to yap about. Also, as an update, I'm still reading The Stand, of course. Currently, I'm listening to it, and I'm trying to get my mandatory 10 pages, or the equivalent, because I'm listening to it, like I just mentioned. And this chapter is about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I've already listened to about 30 minutes of it. So I've got an hour and a half left. So I might finish this chapter today, and if I do, then that's 10 plus pages accounted for. like probably 20 or 30, maybe even 40 pages plus accounted for. So yeah, I'm still listening to this, and probably every vlog that I do here in the future will just include me also listening to The Stand, just because I'll be reading it for at least 2 months, at least two. So yeah, I'm still on chapter 44, I believe. So that's the update. In the months that followed, sleep became my ally. I longed to sleep all the time, to sleep without waking, to dream without living. There was never any question where the burial would be. Sergei had a Russian soul. He was only comfortable there. An excerpt from My Sergei. I'm gonna make a video about My Sergei, so I don't want to say too much here to wrap up this vlog about this book. And I was kind of going back and forth with myself about like what I wanted to say here, because the video would be so short um if I just left it. But I did read some of The Stand. I did not get my mandatory 10 pages yesterday, but the day before, or the day before, so the second day of this vlog, I did, like I mentioned before, I listened to like, I don't know, the equivalent of like 50 pages or something like that. So my, the time frame in which I want to read The Stand, that it's no problem, because I'm just, when I do get into it, I just get sucked in and I want to listen to more, and I want to listen to more. That and the chapters are getting longer. And that might be because the cast is expanding. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I think I did, but I didn't involve it in the video because then it would have been too long. And after all, this was supposed to be a My Sergey vlog, just a weekend vlog of like me trying to finish this book in 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I've done that. But I did want to wrap up everything that I read this weekend, even Kokoro, which I have right here. I started reading on Friday, and I got about, I would say, 10 or 15 pages in, because I read the introduction, which is not something I usually do with classics. I rarely ever read the introduction, but with this one I was like, let's give it a try, and I did, and I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot from it. So I read some of this too. Um my main focus was My Sergei, and just kind of showing to myself that I could read, um a lengthy kind of work, because My Sergei was 296 pages. So, you know, coming off of a super long uh hiatus from reading, especially like physical reading with my eyeballs, I was kind of nervous about whether I could finish this book in a few days. And, reading is not about how quickly you can read something, it's really about, enjoying what you read. But sometimes, you want to just challenge yourself a little bit, and that's kind of what this was. Um, and I did enjoy My Sergei for what it is. Yeah, I gave it I would say 4 stars, not 4.5, just 4, because I do think it could have been shorter. It could have easily been, maybe even 100 pages shorter. But like I said before, I will go ahead and make a video about that. Not necessarily a review, but have a little book talk about My Sergei. So I'm not going to give too much away here. With that being said, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And most importantly, I hope you read a good book. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.